love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stop. Just give me up. Don't stop. Turning back, I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stop. Just give me up. Don't stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry, we got caught up in the charts right there and forgot that we're supposed to start a show here.
Myself, I'm a trader. I've been around. I've seen the highs and the lows, the bulls and the bears. I've made my fortune, and I've shed my tears. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. I'm Will. In the
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the daytime stream. Charts with Road Dogg Crypto. I guess this is the crypto lounge here. We're looking at Bitcoin doing what we had hoped it would do, and maybe a little bit better. We're looking for it to get a higher high than what we had over here, so that we can start looking for our higher low, which will probably be back somewhere around to this area that we just left, about 85, 84,000. There's a chance that maybe we can continue higher over to this area, 95. It might be, but that's getting a little risky, in my personal opinion here. Let me make sure we got our voice going on and everything's set up here. The next target that I've got is this 272 Fibonacci area right over here. This also corresponding with this 4-hour 800 moving average. Notice that our 800, 600, 300, 200, 100, they are still in bearish formation, meaning that this pump going to the upside is not sustainable. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. I know on a day like today, when the stock market seems to be taking a hit and crypto seems to be going up, you're thinking, this is it, baby, this is it. And it's good for short term. It is. But I think that the mindset should be not trying to buy and chase everything up. The mindset should be, hey, how can I take profits on the way up, or how can I be selling to get more dry powder for the next pullback, being a little bit, another step ahead rather than following the price action, being a step behind and always being on the wrong side of everything. You got to flip your mindset a little bit, do things a little bit different than maybe you normally been doing them, and then your results start getting a little bit better. And when you start doing what the big boys are doing, when you see the green candles, you're exiting or de-risking, whereas when the red candles are coming, you're looking at areas of accumulation. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Bitcoin on the 4-hour, heading up to what appears to be $92,300 area, and I can't bitch about that, can't complain about that. We follow a little trend line here, carrying these little guys, candle bodies at the tops, and we can extend that out. And now this, which was resistance, no longer resistance, now it's going to be a support line. Pardon me, a little sneeze coming through there. All right, so we're back here. So 92,300-ish, that area, that is an area that there's a couple more areas a little bit above, but for making our higher highs from what we're doing right here, this area that we just left, and this one up here are the ones I'm really looking at. Let's take a look at the bigger market things going on over here, and Standard & Poor's, SPX 500, SPX 500, that they were freaking out, right? And they came back down. Look at this, man. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. These are Fibonacci areas, the top and the bottom of this range, right? We came down and we bounced, and we're doing good over here right now. Let me take it to the 4-hour for this chart. You can see we bounced up here. That's good. So we're putting in our higher low, right? We're not coming down lower. We're not dropping. It's not rolling over. Standard & Poor's actually got some traction today. So the real market's starting to see a little bit of a pickup. And now that could be a boost. That's going to be a boost for us. But we got to keep in mind, man, over here, Bitcoin dominance is still in the show. And that puts us in a conundrum when it comes to altcoins. And that's basically what we're going to be kind of looking at mostly today on this little stream, is looking at the altcoins. So let's look at that. Before every show, we always like to start out with the indices, because that helps us be a little bit more accurate in our predictions and everything. That's one of the secret sauces to kind of navigating this market. And though you might look at it and say, that's boring, I don't want to watch that, I'll just come back later, you're missing all the juicy info that's going to help you navigate this market. So total 3, we're looking for a little bit more out of total 3. So we are looking for a little bit more pump out of these altcoins, and it looks like we might be getting some. Let's go to a bigger time frame here. See what we can figure out here. Ooh, could even come up here. That would be cool. If we can get a higher, and actually that's what we need to do. We need to see altcoins kind of bump up. We need to see total 3 get up to about 865, 870,000 or billions. These are billions of dollars, and that's about another $100 billion right now. Now that seems kind of suspect that might happen, but this market does work that way. What I'm looking for, same thing I was looking for Bitcoin, is for us to make a higher high. That will be, hey man, take profits, and then look for the higher low. Now, the thing about total 3 is that this area right here, which she seems to, let me get these things tightened back up over here. Let's come over to the 4-hour here. This orange line, that 382 Fibonacci, that is an area of contention, and so far we bounced above it. Now we hold that. That's a really good time for altcoins. I don't know if we're going to hold it. We wicked up above it. Looked like we nailed it then, right? But then she comes back down. So we can wick back below this, and we may do it. I don't know. It's not normal for total 3 and Bitcoin dominance both to run up at the same time. And if they do, one of them is going to play chicken. It's usually the altcoins that get rejected and Bitcoin dominance continues. So as long as Bitcoin dominance is going up, things are looking exciting for Bitcoin, but that does take away from the performance of the altcoin. So we always got to keep that in mind. And Bitcoin looks like she don't want to stop. She looks like she's getting a bullish breakout, and that eventually we're coming up here to the 73% area, which if you zoom out, that is the areas where the real altcoin season started. Now it could take a while to get up there. It could take months to get up there. As we can see from here in November 2024, when we were at this little bottom area, when a lot of the crypto influencers are out here just screaming, we're in altcoin season's coming, load up, baby, load up. That's what they were saying all through here, and that did not work out. We were one of the one channels to say, hey man, this is more like a rally. You need to be taking profits and not so much trying to chase them. I don't know that this is going to stick. And then sure enough, they proved our theory right, made a higher high on Bitcoin, and like, oh, you guys just got a little too excited. And so if you were following those guys, well, apparently you're wishing, altcoins really suck right now. So here we are in a channel. Now, if she breaks out of that, that's bullish as all F. We were hoping there would be some rejection here, and that, yeah, maybe we could get a nice little altcoin season. Maybe that will still happen, maybe. But right now, Bitcoin dominance looks strong AF. I don't see any signs of weakness here. So this is our trend line for it. We're above it. Maybe something happened and come back a little bit. But overall, it's pointing signs that number want to go up, and we can find the channel that we're in, and it kind of suggests that maybe we'll be going up to about 66.5. And what will that do for altcoins? Well, yeah, some of them will do good, but a lot of them will still struggle. Bitcoin will outperform altcoins as long as Bitcoin dominance is going up. As long as the money is going into Bitcoin dominance, that's going to happen. But we can get these nice little spurts out of altcoins, which is what we're seeing right now. So taking profits out of your altcoins, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 3 people hanging out. Thank you for being here. Let me come over and say hello to everybody. We got Floki's Angels. We got Glittering Marshmallow, Hulin, Sam, and Soul. How's it going, guys? All right, so today, since altcoins are a pop-a-loppin', look at this. Look at this. Oh, you say I got no internet connection? What's up with that? We're good, right? So we are having a good day with altcoins. They're starting to show some signs of life that they haven't seen in a minute. We come over here and look and see how well is it going. Top 5 is up about, or top 100 is up about 5%. They're all up around 4 or 5% up there. And let's go ahead and take a look at some altcoins here. What I'm going to do, oh, it doesn't work over here, does it? I'll have to do this manually. So if you guys want to take a look at some altcoins, I'm all up for it. I've got a little list of ones to go over. We're just kind of looking at targets to take some profits right now, because getting into a lot of these, you kind of already missed your point to get in. But there might be some areas to, either one, possibly look for some short ideas, whether it's now or it's upcoming, or two, if you're already in some projects, hey man, here's some good targets to get paid a little bit, so that when you get the higher low coming, that you can take more advantage of it. Have a little bit more leeway on how you play with your bags there. He said play with your bags. So let me do this over here and say list your altcoin below. So list your altcoin request below here, and that way I'll come back and I'll be looking specifically right there. And in the meantime, we're going to take a look at well, I need some light in here so I can see. Oh, that's too much. I'm a vampire. I don't do much light. Let's get out into a bigger time frame, and we will zoom in as needed. Let's go with Caspa. Casper got a nice little bump up today here in the 4 hour. Look where we come up to the Lucy line. And you guys know what the Lucy line is. That's a 6-6 moving average. 800 is a little bit above it at 10 cents. We could go up there. We can technically. You can get a little higher than that. I hope that's what we see. But still, the way these moving averages are, it kind of makes me think of a rubber band snap back to this 200 moving average area, back to the 360 moving average area, and that's around 7.5 cents. So let's don't get it twisted. Let's also keep up with these trading ideas of trend lines and patterns, that when you do get areas that break out, there's a strong chance to come back and retest these areas. So even 8 cents could be the thing, okay? So if you missed it, it's not the time to be chasing, but these are some times to be taking a little bit of profit along the ways there. And now we go to the swing high to our swing loweth. What's this thing over here? Is that for real? That gets tricky with the little wiki. We seem to be getting some respect here with our Fibonacci's, so I'm going to stick with that high to this wick to measure this. You can make an argument we need to come down and touch this, but that's going to skew all of our stuff. It kind of throws things out of scale for what we're trying to do here, but still, there's validity there. That if we do that, that suggests that we're coming up to our 618. I'll roll with that. I'll roll with that. That is applying the rules very religiously, and let's do that. So possibility from this to go to 9.8 cents for Caspa before getting strongly rejected there, and that is a 618 Fibonacci, and then that's what happens there. A lot of people go short there. A lot of bots are programmed to go short there. And now let's cheat a little bit.
Hold tight now, baby, don't look away.
Let me take you. Let me see what you got going on.
Sunset dripping like honey to the sea. Whispers.
We can get a few other little target areas right here, about 10.6 cents. Don't know if this one's going to hit. That one's going to be a little bit janky, but we are looking for some pivots in these areas here for Caspa. So we got a little bit more to go with Caspa, I believe. It looks like the next couple of days, as weird as it is, I mean, when we looked at her indices over here, the Standard & Poor's is she's getting a bounce. She's still in an iffy area. Hasn't made a higher high yet, so the markets are still a little suspect right now, like the legacy ones, and they're being a little nervous today. But crypto is being a little exciting. Now, usually when that happens, there is a pullback. There are signs here that we will have a pullback after we get up to a certain place. Okay, that's what I'm trying to drive home with this stream, is that yes, things are looking good, and yes, we can rally up with these altcoins, but this is not the move to the blast off to the upside you're looking for. This is a first step in that direction. My advice is not to chase, but to try to take profits and get ready for the next higher low. That's kind of the thing that the ideas that I'm getting across over here. But on the short-term time frame here on the 15-minute for Caspa, she's still trying to go. She's wanting to go up, and so we like that. So a take profit area right here, about 9.8 cents. That would be a nice one to shoot for. Let's take a look at also Tau, BitTensor. Let's get off of that and just go in general here. Good old Mexi is a good place. Let's see what we got going on over here. I zoomed out a little too much, and now it's squished everything together here. Let's drag these little guys out. So next target area. Actually, I just want to redo this whole thing if you don't mind. Update our information. See the same thing. Situations going on here in the bigger time frames. We got a bearish flip that happening here with our moving averages, and we're just retesting those guys right now. which is a great move to the upside, but it doesn't mean that, we're not going to have a little bit more downside. So we'll be using Fibonacci's quite a bit today to help us navigate this market. Next target I'll be looking for is 386 out of Tau. Isn't that crazy? That sounds juicy good. We like it. There is the slightest chance that might be at 455, but I don't see that one coming. But we'll throw it out there. Let's come over now. And let's take this little guy. Now we're getting into some more local targets here that should come into play. Nice. All right, so we're going to add 424. Maybe. I am seeing a little bit more confluence for this guy here at 457, so I want to point that out. We're gonna leave him there. We're gonna put this one there, and we're also gonna add this little guy right here, the 618. I'm on the 4-hour time frame. That is the most plausible short-term one that we will get to see what happens there. More than likely, we'll come up and hit that 369, 370 cent area and get rejected there. That one makes a great little target. The little target just a little higher, about 385, and that would be the targets. And I see, let me dial this in just a little bit there. Yeah. So for Tau, and that's not bad since we were coming back from, we bounced out of this area about 244, and that's pretty good. So from this area to where we are now, 37%, and we can see another, what is that, 12, 14, 15%. And that would be cool. If we look at trend line ideas, then it may get a little fuzzy, but you can see that you might be able to look at that as a breakout. There's only 2 touches there, so it's a little suspect. If we take into consideration this trend line from that tops to that and the new angle that we got, because it did change, that does put us right in this $370 area. That we'll probably get rejected there, come back down to about 290, 280 in that area with a higher low, and then try to boogie along from there. So I found that interesting. I want to take these guys while we're doing them. I'm just going to take these and share them on Telegram group over here. Let's throw it out there. Trade setups. This is Tau. This is the 4-hour. Take profit levels. All right, let's move on to, let's go with Altcoin. Can't start your day out right without a good, loud, stinky fart. So we were looking at retesting this area. She did. She even broke out 96 cents. And then we had another target, which I was too lazy to draw a line there, 105. Other targets we're looking at possibly up to 117. She may have to jerk around here a little bit. If we pull our fibs here, yeah. She's probably going to pull back around $1, $1, $2, somewhere through there before trying to get up to about 118. If we're going to go up to 118. I'm not crazy about the channel. I mean, we got the channel from these angles, but we could probably tune this one in. She's trying to go parabolic. She had the fuzzy spider, inverted head and shoulders, spider on the ceiling, chandelier right there. This one has a high chance to retest these areas, about 60 cents, and we just haven't seen it yet. So once she does get up here to about 118, might see her come back down here, maybe if she gets up to 148. But these are the next 2 major targets I'm looking for Altcoin, and given the nice little scallop pattern that she's got, might she come up and do a butt crack? Maybe. I don't. What is a butt? What's he talking about? Butt crack is where we would do a rounded bottom, then it comes back down and tries to do another one, something like that. I don't know, but I do know that 117, 118 area and also 148 are the juiciest targets, and those are pretty simple to come by and very relevant and amazing because they often get hit. Fibonacci areas. We even throw a bonus target at 177, but that's a little that's got a lot of hopium in it. I'm just saying. Do we have hopium over here on the screen? I don't know that I have hopium on the screen. Yes, we do. That's got a little hopium.
They call my name. Stacking sats, never playing the same game. Decentralized, life shining bright. Blockchain beats in the pale moonlight. Mining truths in the networks deep, where trust is born, where promises keep. No banks, no borders, no strings to hold. Futures open, the streets are paved with code. Crypto skies, they call my name. Stacking sats, never playing the same game. Decentralized, life shining bright. Blockchain beats in the pale moonlight. Public ledger, truth laid bare. No middleman, no suits who stare. Nodes whisper stories peer to peer. Building a world we hold so near. Public ledger, truth laid bare. No middleman, no suits who stare. Nodes whisper stories, peer to peer. Yeah, building a world we hold so near. Tribal beats in this wired up soul. Art and dreams under one control. NFTs painting skies so wide on this digital wave. Gonna ride. Whispers of code in the midnight shade. A world of gold where the rules are remade. No need for banks or the keys they hold. Just trust in the chain and the stories untold. Spin me a dream in the digital haze. Currency flows in mysterious ways. From zeros to ones to fortunes they stream. We're chasing the light in our digital dream. Our wallets shine like a treasure chest. Freedom calling, we're doing our best. The future's written in electric skies. Crypto's the fire that never dies. Spin me a dream in the digital haze. Currency flows in mysterious ways. From zeros to ones to fortunes they stream. We're chasing the light in our digital dream. The rhythm of markets, it sings like a song. It pulls you in, makes you feel you belong. The blockchain hums a beat you can't fight. Hold steady now, cause it's gonna ignite. Like a flame in the storm, it flickers and bends. But this is a circle where trust never ends. Spicy and smooth, it dances tonight. A wealth of dreams in the soft moonlight.
memories they hold. Just trust in the chain and the stories untold. Spin me a dream in the digital haze. Currency flows in mysterious ways. From zeros to ones to fortunes they stream. We're chasing the light in our digital dream. Our wallets shine like a treasure chest. Freedom calling, we're doing our best. The future's written in electric skies. Crypto's the fire that never dies. Spinning a dream in the digital haze. Currency flows in mysterious ways. From zeros to ones to fortunes they stream. We're chasing the light in our digital dream. The rhythm of markets, it sings like a song. It pulls you in, makes you feel you belong. The blockchain hums, a beat you can't fight. Hold steady now, 'cause it's gonna ignite. Like a flame in the storm, it flickers and bends. But this is a circle where trust never ends. Spicy and smooth, it dances tonight. A wealth of dreams in the soft moonlight.
Oh, yay, I'm sitting here talking without a microphone on. Not my bad. Thank you, Glitter Marshmallow. I just saw that. Let me come back and see what we got here. Okay, Litecoin, Ethereum, Sand. My bad for the microphone thing. Let me tear that off there. Basically, I'm just saying to be cautious with most of these, and there are some points that we can hit, but make sure that you get ready for the hopefully higher low that will be coming from these. Glitter Marshmallow says, good day on screen, bad day in real life. Someone broke into my car. Oh no, and stole my husband's truck this morning around 2:30, and police came and they were basically like, sorry. Sorry to hear that. Hate it when bad things happen to good people like that. So the screens are a happy sight today. Yes, I will be taking profits now that we have to buy a new truck. Well, insurance, right? They should help with that, shouldn't they? Well, I hope and I pray that things get better for you. God will look out for you. Apostle Dingle Dangle owns Soul. Sam says, this is the imagination part of the show. We get to guess what he's saying. Yeah, and you got no turkey lips to read. No, man. My bad. We're going to need a bigger bowl. Are you needing some opium? Sometimes you just need a little opium. All right, so Solana. I think I posted that, right? Didn't we post? Did we post? Oh, we hadn't posted Solana. So these are target areas. I'm looking at Solana. It's good take profit areas. Trend line is going to be some rejection. I think we can get up there, but still, possible inverted head and shoulders could be forming here, and that could bring us down to these areas back to 120. If that happens, don't know if it's going to happen. It's set up to where it could, and it all depends on what we do right here at this neckline area. So let's go. We'll switch you over to the 4 hour. The 4 hour suggested it might struggle through here a little bit, man, but I can see these targets get hit up to 170, maybe up to 190. Because we got the 800, 600, 360 moving average, all those, because they're inverted and we're trying to flip them back, or at least start to, right? Price, when it gets up to the 8, they can go above before they slam back down. It doesn't have to just get rejected here at those two. A lot of times it does, especially the first run around, its first encounter with those areas. A lot of times there is rejection, but she can come back a little bit and kind of get a second win and make a one last sprint for the border before being shot down and brought back, or being stunned and brought back down to reality. Thrown back in jail for trying to escape back at wherever that might be. If she does break out past this neckline area, this little line, that's the area that I would expect her to try to retest if she comes back. So we got a couple scenarios: inverted head and shoulders, or just, keep on going. Why does this keep doing that? I have problems with my mouse. All right, so let's take a look at Litecoin. Request there. Coinbase is probably one of the best charts to look for Litecoin, because they've had it forever. So wherever this trend line ends, that's also going to be some resistance there. And that's around $98, $99, just depending on where we go to it. That's one idea to look at. Let's zoom out a little bit here on Litecoin, because I think that's the best way to get the targets when you zoom out. Moving averages are telling us that, hey man, our momentum is still good. The 600 is below the 800, and that's not as important. It's got some weight. That's more like a finishing move that I look for. But the 360, all the other ones are good for momentum, saying that we can get up to back to 102, 103 just by the moving averages. And here we got her fibbed out, so we are at the area 81, 82 to see if we can hold that. May do it. If we do hold it, 92 is our next target, with a very good possibility to go to 101. That one's starting to show a lot of promise, in my personal opinion. So short-term targets, that's kind of what I want to lean with. 110 could be on the picture, but I'm not ready to put her on the radar just yet. Even 120, all these areas are possible, and may show up over the next, over the next week or two. They can. Right now, we just got to clear a few areas. The first area to clear, we worked on it. We're working on it right now. We just got to see if it's going to hold, and we're making the higher highs and higher lows right now. So clearing this area, opening the candle, that does bring us into 92. That's looking more promising. And 102. That's an interesting idea too here. So when we take into consideration the trend line the main trend line that we lost at the beginning of April, and that we're now maybe getting back into that could be a strong move. There could be a strong ass move coming out of this. So we want to be cautious about that. Let's see if we got some other signs of a strong ass move that might be a coming. What's this little thing? What's going on? The 24th of April, we got what? Durable goods, month over month, existing home sales. Not anything that we're really crazy about here in crypto. What I would be watching for is this daily for that 9 moving average across that 21. And if we see that cross, which it looks like it's going to happen, that would be a nice little boost up. We can at least see 85, 86. A bearish cross happened here, had the death cross, and that's fine. The point I'm trying to make, if we can get some candle bodies to open over here, we can get a nice strong move. This would be a bear trap, or a swing failure pattern, as a lot of people call it these days. So I'm liking that. I'm going to keep these targets online here. I don't know that I would keep this one as a target. We'll take that one also, won't be confusing. So 93 area, 102 area. Let's go ahead and post these. Got 5 people hanging out, thank you. Don't know how long we'll be stringing, but we're going to be just kind of zooming in and looking for some altcoin targets is what I'm trying to do with this stream. So this is LTC. And with some take profit targets right there. Let's take a look at Sandbox. It's at 28 cents now. She came all the way, she did a double bottom with the slightest higher high, or a slightest higher low. As much money and attention as this project got, I would not doubt that it will revive. Now, whether it will be successful in its goals for what it was trying to do, I'm not as convinced, because narratives do change. They change very quickly in crypto, and the narratives from last cycle, well, you know, they've very much evolved with new technology that comes out. Now AI is in the space. Maybe AI will be included with Sandbox. Who knows what they're going to do. One thing that I am quite certain of is that they will rehype this if there's money involved with it, and money that might be on the downside, because they want to find an exit liquidity area so that they can get their money back. That's what the VC guys are kind of really good at. They're good at playing retail like a fiddle. They are not your friends. They are there to trick you and to take your money. As long as you come into this understanding that that's how they work, and that there is a conglomeration between teams, developers, a lot of times. Sometimes there's good ones, sometimes there's shady ones. And then the investors behind those projects, sometimes there's good ones, sometimes, a lot of times, there's shady ones. And they're here to make a buck. The only way they can make a buck is if they get somebody to buy it when what they're trying to sell. And so you will get all the hype news and everything. Oh my God, everybody's looking at this coin. This is replacing XRP or whatever. You'll get all kinds of crazy narratives. Man, that would be sweet. That would be really sweet if we could see like $1.07 out of this guy, and that's what we do suggest. That now, last time we were there was November 2024, so it may take us a little bit of time to get there. It could take, if we are trying to do it now, it could take us a week or two to get there. After it took 6 months or more for it to go down, but look how fast that she can get there when she goes. So one thing that I don't do here that you might see on some other channels, because I do see it a lot, is that when things are at a bottom or they're on red days, what happened here? That don't look right. And you're trying to get an honest assessment, and something's low, and they're just, a red day and a down day in the market. And there's, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot bow. That's trash. Or, sometimes you get, that doesn't look right. All right, I'll take you for that. We'll just, okay, I see what you did. What I'm doing right now is taking the fractal. Let's say that we might have something like that going on. Yeah. How quickly could she go from, so let's say where she is now. Let's say that we're doing something like this. Possible. It could get us back up here. When could that possibly happen? May 10th? So about mid-May we could be getting up there. Maybe the 1st of May there might be a place to get up here to our, what is that, a 786? Not even a 786 area? We got 786 area. Yeah, you are right there. Let's put you on the radar. That's some nice little hopium targets for this little guy. The 0.5, this one definitely right here, that 53 cent area for Sandbox. Don't forget the 0618, that's 74 cents there, because there's a lot of bots and people programmed to take shorts there. Or to at least try, or put stop losses, and shorters put stop losses behind it and things like that. So that looks cool. If we look at this pattern wise and see, we broke out, ooh, and then came down. That sucked for a breakout. Oh, there's no volume behind that, and that's a lot of reason why. I think if we treat it a little bit more like a channel, you'll be a little bit more accurate and say, well, that makes a little bit more sense, a little bit more relative. It helps me out when I started looking at things this way rather than just always trying to go, what happened to that trend line? I don't know. Another way, when it does come to trend lines, I'll say this, that helped me get to where I look at that. The last touch area that we got in here, or whatever, right in here, right before, you know, she did what she did, you could also take this little guy and apply over there. It's part of my trend line rules of operation. So these little guys crisscross and correspond at a nice area of resistance. So will we get past it? It looks like she's trying. Let's see what our indicators say. This one's getting a little tricky here. Zoom out a little bit. Ooh, nice and nice and nicey. I bet you got something cooking over here on the weekly. I'm looking for a big green dot here on the weekly. Can we get it? Market Cipher is not cooperating. She may not. There we go. Yeah, right here. So this is a confirmed green dot from last week, from the 14th, and on the weekly. That's good. So we're starting to see some nice little signs out of the altcoins. Let's come down and see if we can finesse some better targets out of this one, some shorter term targets. And from that idea, we'll be coming over here to our previous high. About 42 cents all the way down. Pull our little Fibonacci, and this one right here, 33.8, looks beautiful. And then this zone over here looks really nice. I believe. Don't ever say I believe. I gotta say I believe all the time. I'm a believer. 37.2. Woo! And those are nice. That looks doable. That looks extremely doable, in my opinion here, on this weird ass 8-hour chart. And we'll get our 618 in there. So local targets right here for sand look really interesting and juicy to me. 34. And we're at 28 cents right now in Sandbox, right? So what does that look like if we do get a breakout? It's going to struggle, man. We're below the 200 moving average on this. It's going to be a little struggle, but if she can get above it, get her breakout in 17, 28, possibly 36% just on spot. You can also take a measure move from this, just straight down to the, and put that at the breakout. That also takes us right up here to that little higher area. We'll go ahead and label that 54. So for Sandbox, I'm going to copy this and post that over there. Nice target areas. Pretty much a doubling up if we can get up here. That's a lot to ask. It is a lot to ask considering what it's got going on here, moving averages. I'm not saying she's getting ready to just pop up, but she'll have to work through it. But those targets are what I see coming. The weekly look pretty decent on that one. Look promising.
And if you said this spark ain't wild enough, I'd chase the soul to lift you up.
TP targets. And then let's see, ETC was also requested. Let's take a look at that one, Ethereum Classic. Coinbase? Binance would be good for that one. Well, we can see those targets never got hit, but they were if we were to make our higher high, and we did not. Let's see what we got. Ooh, we lost a trend line. Let's zoom out on ETC. She came down and made a lower low. Did you safely get it out of the way there? Did we hit an area? You did. You got our 113 there. Well, let's just cut through the chasing and get all the little places spelled out that she could be coming up to. $34 is on the radar for this one. At that, let me get this one too. It will not immediately. I do not expect it to immediately go here at all. This is more like our. I'm not going to say hopium target, but this is she's down the road. These are the targets that are down the road a little bit. The ones that are really kind of spouting off right now, possible to get hit. They're going to be here at $23 and $19. So our short-term targets, which could take several days to hit. It's really making me want to look at the legacy market, because as far as I can tell, they're still a little scared. And crypto is ironically getting a little boost, and I don't, like I said, I'm not expecting this boost to just stick and we're going to be permanently bullish. She's going to get tired and give out. I'd be surprised for it to last over a week, and I'm seeing signs here that it would take over a week for some of these targets to get hit. So what does that mean? We're at $16 right now for Ethereum Classic. This thing can do some stuff. She's gotten up to $70, $80 before. It's pretty much a dead chain anymore. They're not building on it. Nobody's taking it seriously for any major event, but traders love it, and that's all it takes to move this market. It did really good last cycle. Everybody thought it was dead then too, but she surprised everybody. She had her ups and downs, but $19, $20, $23 looks possible out of ECT. This is 12-hour. All right. And let me take a look at, this is one that I've talked about a lot on the streams. This is Block Stacks, or STX. And she's at 78 cents right now from her low areas of 48, as low as it got. Now looking at trend lines, see that we finally got our little breakout of, however you want to look at that. You could look at it as a channel. I would. A lot of people look at it different ways. Look, it's a falling wedgie. Okay, I mean that works. Or it's one of these guys. Look, it's a opening broadening pattern. It's a bullish megaphone. That is also correct. That one's got a little bit bigger of a measure move, depending on how you want to take it. Measure move from the channel suggests that we come up here to about 95 cents. Oh, that's juicy. Let me see if I can get you lined up there. So measure move to that, and let's zoom out on this little guy. Back in November, she was up to $3, and she's at 78 cents now. This one I like. I really like this project, and I wish I had even more and more. And I am accumulating this one on the slide, because if you stake this, especially on the X wallet. That's where I'm doing it, Xverse wallet. You get rewarded by every 2 weeks in Bitcoin. And you do that for a while, it pays for itself pretty quick. I've been very impressed with my rewards and how that's working. I've been doing it for about a couple of years. I've been in, you know, it's like having a Bitcoin miner without having to buy a Bitcoin miner, without having to pay for upkeep for a Bitcoin miner, without having to pay for electricity for a Bitcoin miner. It's like a free little Bitcoin miner, and a fairly affordable one that will pay for itself a lot quicker than a material Bitcoin miner. That's my conclusion on it. And I used to mine. So if you're a hobby miner, screw hobby mining, unless that's, you know, you just want to do it for the nerdy aspect. But you can get better results than hobby mining just by stacking this block stacks. I wish I'd realized that last cycle. I didn't know that. When she was down 20, 25, 30 cents and nobody loved her, I didn't realize that that's what they were doing. Oh, man. Could have been a nice little accumulation of Bitcoin with a very small investment. I'm seriously considering, with the prices I got in on this one, which is below from where we are now, and even probably even through here for some of the coins. I don't know. No, I think I got them pretty decent. The ones I got actually staked. Part of me is debating whether I'll sell out. I probably will. It'd be stupid if it goes up $3, $4, $5 and not take profit on that, so that I could buy even more to stake. Yeah, probably. But I mean, there's a part of me in the back of my head is probably the stupid part saying, well, you just hold it for the next time and just keep letting it generate Bitcoin. And you could, and that wouldn't be bad, but still probably smarter to take profits when she's up. Maybe just sell half of it or something. I don't know. If you're not keeping this liquid, that means what I've come to believe with all my heart, that, you know, as numbers go up and numbers come down, numbers go up. You know, if you're doing a stagnant pool idea and not ever buying or selling, not getting that fresh oxygen into the circulatory stream of crypto, it gets a little stagnant, and you're just riding this little stagnant pool, riding the waves in a little stagnant pool, not really going much anywhere. But if you will, you know, oxygenate this, I'm using some biological terms here, you know, if you're trying to sell at tops and buy bottoms, ideally we would, or anywhere, any variations in between, as long as you get some circulation, flow, money flow, there's a fluidity going on here. And I think that's part of the key. If we're not actually introducing some viable oxygen, combustible activity here into this flow, it just gets stagnant. And when water gets stagnant, that's when stuff starts breeding that we don't like and kind of makes us sick and things like that. In other words, you got to be circulating. So I believe the taking profits and the buying and you know, buys and selling and having a good plan for that is key to the circulation. The circulation of profits. So here we are with this big ass trend line for block stacks, which is going to be some severe resistance, and that's pretty much at our measured move area, about 95, 96 cents up there. I can see us going up there. Maybe we can come back down to work on a double bottom. Maybe it's a swing failure pattern. We just get up here and decide, screw you, I'm just going to go to 140, 174. It could do that too. When she moves, she can move now. Don't get it twisted. She can do some stuff. But this is one that I like, and I explain the reasons why. And I'm very glad that I got in on this. As always, I wish I got more. All right, so let's take a look also at some of these coins I've been looking at for a while. You got CRV, and you can't see what the heck's going on with it over here on my chart, other than she's going up toward this little guy. She's been janky. You could argue that this is some kind of inverted head and shoulders. I mean, it's got a neckline. You have to tighten it up here on this time frame, but it's there. And whoops, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. If you do go by that theory, and we go from bodies to bodies, let's point this out. That's a very small shoulder, a big head, a bigger shoulder, which is actually lower than this one, and you know, That's a little anomalous. Usually look for them to be a little higher than that for the best breakouts, but she came up above the neckline, respecting it, and now we're ready to go. If this be true, inverted head and shoulders or wedge pattern, however you want to look at it, it suggests that we come up here and we got the measure move sitting right here at 81 cents. So I was going to erase all of this, but I think I'll just selectively kind of clear this out so we can see what's going on. Uh-oh, what did we erase there? Was that Fibonacci? Yeah, that's cool. Let's go ahead and label this little guy. Let me make sure we got her tightened in here. Oh man, you just moved that. Make sure we touch up there. If we're kind of picky, or not picky, just a little bit more precise on how we do things that we measure stuff from or get our targets from, you know, the more accurate that we are. That's what I've learned. And I tried to just spell that out here when I'm doing all this stuff. So we do have a 0.5 area there at 84. And we've also got this area right up here at 382, 72 cents. That's a nice little take profit area. There's an orange line there. Is that a 1618 from something? I think it is. So 72 cents also looks pretty good for CRB. Now, I do want to, when it comes to these patterns, whether it be the broadening wedge, which is, you know, this line and this one, or the inverted head and shoulders, which, you know, I'm going to throw some googly eyes on there because why not? These have a really strong probability of once they get to their measure move to come back down and retest this area. So you could see that. You could see it go from 82, 84 cents all the way back down to the 60, 62 cent area and retest it. If you know that in advance, you can plan for that and work it to your advantage. But they are notorious for coming back to retest the breakout area, so keep that in mind for CRV. Let's come over to you guys and see what we're talking about. Any request over here? I'm blessed by best, says Cleary Marshmallow. Yes, you are. I agree. Hey, Sicario, how's it going? Let's go 191 Solana. Yay! Beyond the Illusion, Turbo making moves. You want to take a look at Turbo? We can slide Turbo in. I do have a Turbo play. I got too many altcoin plays trying to... Hopefully, if the market goes with me, they'll be in my de-risking play, and I can narrow some of these guys down. Hadn't looked at this one in a minute. Let's take a fresh look here. Oh, did we meet our target? And then extended it. So we were looking at this area here at the 618. It looks like she went 786. And that's the exact area that we're hanging out right now. It's the 618. So looks like she did a 7.8. You're talking. What are you talking? These numbers. Let's clear. I want to clear out. Okay, so we made a lower low with Turbo, and that sucked for Turbo and people that were in Turbo. If we're looking at trend lines, and I always do like to look at trend lines, same idea, right? We got this, however you want to look at it, a channel or open and broadening pattern. They're both bullish AF to break to the upside, especially down through here. This one has like a 72% chance to break to the upside. At this point in the game, I'll just bring out the fibs and we'll go from this last high all the way down to our low here. And then now it's starting to reveal itself. So we're at the 236 Fibonacci area right now, testing it. If we're going to go up to our next nice little take profit to get paid targets, every one of these fibs is coming on strong. Every one of them. I would play the fibs. Because I think it's going to respect the fibs on this one. Beautiful strategy to do it. 200 moving average is coming up at the 618. How you can't ask for much better than that. So take this idea, stick it in your pipe and smoke. Now there's a good chance we can come back to the retest. That's always possible. And that's 0.002223. That look for that. She may. Until she breaks over this line that we're at right now, or right below, until we break over that, we are technically you're in danger where you could come down for a lower low, but most likely it would be coming back down to make a higher low, get some kind of bottom pattern in under here, probably a W pattern or head and shoulders if you squint your eyes sideways, but we've already kind of blew that one out of the way. Doing some kind of a bottoming pattern through here, and then finally getting our breakup. But our breakout looks pretty good. Next target, and I've got was that 0.004? Now for turbo, these are some. I think you can find that you can get some nice little come ups. Every one of these is perfect. So imagine that from where we are right now up to where we got to go is 10%, but up to this other target, 46%. Even if you degen in right now, we hit that target with $100. I'm just going to throw $100 in right now. I don't care. I'm not going to wait for a better price. I just want to do it now. I got to get in. Even if you did that with a little bit of time, you could be looking at $150 out of your $100, maybe up to doubling it. But I'm not saying to do that because it's always best to wait for the pullback. So we got rejected over here. So I guess your question is on turbo. Where's she going to pull back to? And she's trying to go parabolic. Now, when they do that and they reach their highest high there, they can get kind of tricky and slow down a lot. So what I would recommend to do here is to eyeball this area right in here. Don't know if she's going to come back to 0.0025 area, or maybe she just comes back and wicks down to 0.002627 area. But in my personal opinion, this would be the sweet little buy zone. A nice little buy zone for the bounce right here. So she might have, she might have played her play for right now. Take a little rest, and we'll follow this trend line, and it kind of points out those areas that we can come down and bounce off this trend line and keep going up, right? And then that leads us over to this little guy here, turbo. Let's see, what would that look like? If we came back down here and say we flagged out, bounced there, and went to the upside, you can have 60% gains off of that little guy. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Can we articulate that with a little thing here? 63% to that next target. That looks like a pretty decent trade setup. We'll share that over here. This is on the 1 hour chart. Oops. So that's a little swing trade idea. 1 hour. Swing trade idea. By the retest of 0.5 and 0.382 fib levels, and take profit at, what was it, 4.0044 for how much gains? For 63% gains. For tilde, that means approximately, I think it was 64% gains. Nice. So turbo looking kind of interesting there. Did we take a look at Aave? I like this one a lot. I want more and more of this, and it's getting harder to do. Here's our price. There's a trade set up. Whoa, looky there. Look, first target, nailed it. Oh, I can't point. Oh, gosh darn it. So see what's happening here with our 800 and 600 moving average? This is the same setup we got on others, right? See how she had a reaction there with 800 and getting rejected. Now, doesn't mean that we can't come up here and hit this bigger target though. That is still on. That's still on board. But TP1 has hit on Aave. Let's come over here and then get our sweet little vanity signs. So we got to spell this out for the algorithm here. That was our first target that we had there. Nailed it! And then we got some others. Ooh, let me draw a line up there. I got lazy.
Which one's enough? Crypto dancing in my head. Tacos teasing.
All right, so the entry idea was about 144. Stop loss was down here at 136. And she's done nice. So, shout out to anybody got in on it. I would never expect anybody to get on. These are just ideas, and you look at your own TA and see if you agree or not, and think there might be something there. I'm not one of those guys that sits here and goes, "Who took this trade with me? You should be in my group." Yeah. Because those guys don't get it right half the time anyway. They don't. They just talk about the ones that they do get right. 10% gains there. Yay! That played out. That's awesome. And the trick, my purpose was buying at the bottom of the trend line. I wasn't trying to get in when we break out past this area. Like some people are. They're like, well, this is a good time to get in. And I'm like, no, this is a good time for a higher low to be coming. And we might be coming back down to 146. If you didn't take profits up here at 154, that's the time to get paid, not the time to jump in my personal opinion. That's how I look at the market now. It's been very hard to switch my mindset to look at the market this way, but that is what I like to continue sharing, because that's exactly what the market makers are doing right now. They're saying, we need to take our profit because we soaked them all up down here. We get paid. Time for us to get paid. But let's make everybody chase us and think it's going to even higher. It could go higher. And if it does, the big boys will be taking profits and doing exactly what we should be doing. And that's when we try to get in near a trend line, get in the bottom feeding. That's just my approach. Doesn't have to be your approach. But that's what works for me, and that's what I'm sharing here on this channel. Some of these ideas. So we got this with this. Let's take this one and we'll go to the Vandy wall. And oh, look, somebody got 78%. Who was this? On Week Sport PC guy. Awesome. Finally, a small bit of profit. The man. Awesome. TP1. Nailed it. This was Ave. And we will forward this one over to the trade setups as an update. Okay, so Ave looking good and possibly getting the ones. It can happen. Do we know for sure she's going to get up there? Well, let's measure the strength of this move so far with our Fibonacci's. She's at the 0.5. It's going to take some doing to get up here, but that's a 618 right there. Do you see how simple this strategy is? It is so simple and yet so freaking accurate. The Fibonacci's are your friends. They are the magical tool of TA. Very magical. So right now we're just trying to get. We've got a support resistance flip area here at this 0.5 Fibonacci. So where we came down for support and then it was resistance. If we can get past it, yeah, 164. If we can't, then we'll just come back down to our trend line and probably about 144 or something. Retest that and then try to go for it. So we got some ideas going on there. With Ave, let's all take a look at AVAX. That one's been moving up. Avalanche. This one has been dumped on. When you zoom out on this one, she's been just treated totally unfairly. For as high as she's been, as promising and everything is what they say. Well, we're gonna have to. Let me do a different AVAX chart. That was Binance. Let's get one that's not all mixed up. Do we want? Let's go with KuCoin. Yeah. So from when was this? July. This was last year. Oh yeah. She came up. Look how the beautiful fibs. Even back then, swing high to swing low. Did it not nail it? Did it not nail the 786? And then that was the reversal area, because that's what the 786 is for a move like this. That's a pivot point. And then she came down, and do we know she's getting a higher, or, you know, coming down to a lower low? No, we didn't know that. But that's a strong possibility that can happen. So she did. This is old TA, and you can see how it was respected there. Now we can get our new TA in. So I'm here on the 3-day, and there is still some bearish momentum flowing here. Bearish cross coming in. For whatever reason, Avalanche is still struggling. She is still struggling. I think we actually need to do a little bit bigger TA. Look at this one. This is what she looks like. She got up to $148 last cycle, right? And the lowest that she was $9. $9 in 2023. So that was definitely the juicy places to get in. From $9 to $64, that was quite a come up. So if with patience you can get your 5, 6, 7x out of this one, but man, it takes some patience. It took it all the way from September 2023 to March 2024 to get that. Doesn't seem like too long, a good 6 months or something to get that 6x. Not bad. Can we do something like that again? And I'm going to say it's probably going to be a little iffy. There's probably going to be a lower high to be contending with there, just based on what I'm seeing here, channel wise. And this angle is respected, so I expect her to be respected again. Let's get our targets. Yep, another 786, 886 area is what I'd be looking for there. So 47, wow, that's nice. Bigger picture, this is the bigger picture trade here idea. Oh man, my fibs are messing with me. There we go. There. Oh, well, I guess we got our bonus target in. Right now, the $30 areas, the 30 and 24 are the most local targets that we could see a reaction from. Short-term play, that's what we're looking for. Bigger term play, we're looking at these other guys. We're just going to go ahead and lay them out. Got to change up my music just a little bit here. All right, let's get you over here. This 886 area. Don't want to forget about you. We got you fibbed out here. Trend line out here. Uh-oh, we didn't color code. I like to color code these areas so when I come back I can remember what they mean. The whole reason that I go through this whole rainbow process I got here. So we're trying to get a double bottom in here, and that's cool. We're still within some respectable levels. It's a little janky, but it does like this angle. We've established that. And so we're coming down to a smaller time frame. Let's try the 4 hour. 4 hours good. 4 hour, we can see how we flipped this ribbon recently, as back in February, and now we're trying to regain it. It's a lot, really similar to a lot of other ones that we've seen, and we've seen that they broke out very nice from this. I think the best way to look at this, you can look at it always as a channel. You'll never be wrong if you look at things as a channel. In my personal opinion, you just won't. But the other idea would be to look at it, connect your dots, and you get this guy, which is just another way to look at a channel. And we can get a little measure move from this guy, this open and broaden pattern, or this bullish megaphone. 72% chance that it breaks to the upside, which is doing after it gets a partial decline. You hear me say that a lot, and here's where I can say what that looks like. We come down to the bottom of this, but when we come back down again, we don't go and touch that. Therefore it's not a full decline, it's a partial decline, and that's one of the signs that these are getting ready to break out. That is what I look at when I'm looking for these patterns. These signs here, partial decline, indicates that we have it. Now we're trying to work on getting a breakout, and that's what makes these areas around $15, $16 so juicy as a possible entry for me. Buying the bottoms, buying the lows, being a bottom feeder, so that by the time we get up where everybody else is saying, I'm going to wait for it to confirm for me. I'm going to wait for this. I'm going to wait till it gets to $24 and then jump in. By the time they get there, you know, we've already made 50% gains. And that's the difference between me and some other. And it's all risk tolerance and just the way, perspective and mindset. Not everybody's going to agree with me on this at all. A lot of people do not. A lot of people, you know, they want to be more conservative. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that you do limit your profits. So in other words, coming down here and let's say, now I'm not saying just because it does that jump in, no, that you can, but then you'll start looking for your bottom patterns down here with this idea, if you know that, right? And then you got your confirmation right here if you're looking at your patterns. If you do a W pattern with, oh, can't even draw, with that higher low, oh man, even right there was a good place to get in, $16. But right here at the retest, see, that would have been more conservative for this more degen idea, right? That you can apply your conservative ideas here, just apply them a little sooner. There's a lot of things here telling me that's a good place. Breakout being the one right here at 16 cents. These are just the things that I do, that I look for, that I'm just sharing. This is how I find entry ideas or find confirmations to say, yeah, I want to get a little bit, add this to my bag and make a big play here, bigger play here. And these are things, and other people look at this totally different. And it's fine. It's very valuable. Some people are going to wait for an area to be cleared till we get above 24. That's a more conservative way. But what they're doing is that they're just verifying that the trend has changed. And once you get into a positive trend, we're good. The only problem is that I find, and why I don't do that, is that you know, that's the place to get in. Let's go in. If you do, you want to go in very small, you know, 25%, something like that. You want to nibble at any entry where you're buying a higher high or you're clearing a high area. Because more than likely, once you put in a higher high, what do? You put in a higher low. That higher low, once you confirm a trend change, this is my approach now. I used to do this back in the day. This is what I was trained to do this back in the day. And then I kept wondering, why do I keep getting stopped out? Why do I keep going and drop? This sucks. And then when we get to a take profit, I'm like, well, that wasn't very much. But now, WDCAN was when the guys that kind of ruled that in. Once you get your higher high in from here, that higher low is the one you want to focus on. That's the one you want to wait for. Make sure you got in. So yeah, you can do that and put maybe 25% in, then maybe 50% or more when we come in and bounce. Those are some ideas. I'll probably on the next chart school start looking at some of these entry ideas and trading strategies, entry strategies, and things like that. I think that's a good thing that needs to be talked about. And it's individual for everybody. It's individual for everybody. That's why teaching TA or going over TA, you know, you got to keep it generic because everybody's approaching these things from different areas. So if we're looking for pivot points, then, well, you can't argue about a pivot point, a place where price will reverse or have a reaction at, like the Fibonacci's. Hey man, that can work for everybody. So I see $24 being a nice little take profit area. Also this area at 30, and there may be a chance that we can get up to 40, but that's going to take a lot of doing. If we were to look at, we did this right. For avalanche breakout target that we got does take us up to around the $30 area. That's what I got for avalanche. So we're going to share this idea. Nice top profit targets. What would that be percentage wise? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I might be able to tell you something. If you FOMO'd in right now, which I don't recommend, but bought the breakout, and you know that's legitimate. People will be buying this breakout because it made a higher high than what we made over here at 21. So you'll probably see some more people coming in. 40% gains from where we are now, not bad. But for the people who were buying down here at 17, it's a lot juicier, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just saying, it'd be more like oh man, that didn't do it. You suck, Road Dog. What did you do? It would be more like 70% gains, and I like the 70, but 40 is just fine if we get up there. So AVAX, let's do this one. Let's copy this image and post him over here on Telegram. AVAX Avalanche. 4 hour TP targets. Get paid. Get paid, because she will probably come back down to these areas and retest this after she gets up to around $25 or $30. Yeah, and then that's where you work on moving and gaining in those bags there, right? Driving them up, building them bags, and then you can have more to sell at 40 and 45. Trendline says, "Ooh, we did get a breakout there. Oh, that's a nice retest of that area. That's nice, actually. With volume, it's decreasing now as price is going up. So, we're there. Yeah. There's. I don't know how authentic all the buy is. I'll put it that way. It was definitely more authentic at the breakout area, or retest area. So Avalanche looking kind of juicy. It's 4:34, everyone. Glad to have you here. Got 7 people hanging out. Got time for DGen, says Sam. Sure do, Sam. Let's go check it out. Coinbase, well, with Coinbase should be the good place to go with it. Let's try Bybit. She did make a lower low, and that's juicy. And then from here to there, let's see. This one got really beaten down, didn't it? Where were you in December? Wow, it did good in December though, 3.6 cents. And look how much she dropped though from that high. But that was a good come up. I mean, she was down in the areas before and got up to, she did a 10, 11x. And then what's so sad, I mean, giving it back, was 95%. So she's down. If you chased the candles over here like we're not supposed to, and you bought it 3 cents, and $100 is probably worth about $5 now, and that sucks. However, if you put in $100, where it is now before, and we got up there, you had the possibility of turning $100 into about $1,100, and that's pretty good if you get paid along the way. And maybe we got a similar setup, because you can argue that this is trying to make a double bottom, and that's the neckline. We can make that argument. It looks like it's a nice rounded bottom, and we make another one, and it's not confirmed. We at least need to get up here, but technically it's here. That is it, and that means that this is a big ass channel that ultimately, when this market turns around, you could be seeing this area about 6, almost 7 cents out of it, just by measured move alone. So that gives you hopium if you're in this project and you're like, I don't know if it's worth being in or not. I mean, consider it a lottery play, but at fractions of a penny, it's at 0.003 basically right now. To get up to 0.068, not trying to make you FOMO in or anything, but you're at bottoms, and there's a possibility of 25x gains. $100 could possibly turn into, if you got the patience and can sit there, gains up to $2,500. It can. Not saying that it will. But it can. There's all these little areas in betwixt that I would recommend taking profits, and maybe you wouldn't get that full 25x out of it, but you would be getting a lot better. You would be getting paid handsomely on the way up. So man, it makes me think maybe I need to come back and see if I can. I think I still have some of this. I need to top up my bags. So currently, the main price that we're looking at right now, that you'll probably more than likely find rejection at, is at 1 cent. And from where we are now to get up there is 200% gain. So $100 in could turn into about $330. It could. Listen to me now. We still got a lot of work to do, a lot of flipping going on, but just like the other coins we're looking at, have we got something? She's got, let's see, how can we got something there. Well, that would be a fallen wedgie. As long as we got 2 touches on one side, 3 on the other, we got a valid pattern. You can play that pattern for what it's supposed to do. Well, this pattern suggests that at the breakout, I'm going to put it at the retest. I've been doing that lately just to be a little bit more conservative. Coming up to 0.0062. So we got that, and what else is up there? Oh, the 800 moving average. That's confluence. I actually kind of like that for a measured move. And again, we do have another target up here. So for short term, I'm going to go with this. Now there's some smaller ones we could go with for degen, but I mean, considering you're here at the bottoms, and that is moonbag territory, about 100% gains. If you 2x on this, if you put like $100 in at the bottom down here and you get a 2x, pull your $100 out and get a free moonbag. Then let that sucker just do what she do. Maybe you want to start another moonbag if she comes back down again. Those are some ideas on how to play these guys when they're at the bottom. The bottom areas here are the juicy ones. If you think there might be a chance, even just a smidgen, even for VCs to step in and pump the price, this is a good place to nibble and build a position, in my personal opinion. I'm not going to tell you not to touch it. A lot of people will tell you, no, she's down too much, this one's dead, this project sucks. These are the times that everybody that says that, when they start getting more attention and you got green candles and everybody starts chasing them and starts talking about these projects again, this is the places where they wish that they got in. This is probably the places where they'll say, we talked about it when it was down here. You were talking about how crappy it was. You did not get in. You didn't take advantage of it. Unless you make the move and actually can show it and prove it, you know. I'm starting to get into influencers, but these are good areas. If you believe in the project, if this is one of your picks, I'm going to tell you this is a good area to be making some gains, and you have the best chance of making the best gains when you bottom feed. But just know that you want to make sure you take profits on the way, so you reduce your risk. That's the thing. The moon bag. You want a moon bag. This is a great place to moon bag. You can moon bag so much quicker. Moon bag, you put money in, and then you take that collateral out when you 2x or better. That is one of the most fail-safe ways to trade these crypto altcoins. And if you can do that, I think you got a lot better a chance of playing this market. That way you keep your collateral, you're not losing, and then you got these little lottery bags that could just pay off. One of these days it'll be scratch-off day. Kelly fan, how's it going, Kelly? Can you look at WIF? I'm long from what was it? 43 cents, 43.5 cents. Let's take a look at WIF. I'm looking at the Binance chart. A lot of these charts are looking the same. We're kind of doing variations of the same thing. 78 cents looks like that's going to be an area she's going to retest there. Let's zoom out, see what we got. Ooh, well, you got beat up, didn't you? All right. So she made her higher lows. I'm going to do a few little checks here because I haven't looked at this particular chart in a while on this one. She went just a wee bit lower than what I would like to see right there. It's still okay. If she can reclaim that 54 cent area, that would be good. Let me tighten up my game here. 57 cent area. Let's lock that guy in. And let's take the impulse. Sunset dripping like honey to the sea. Whispers in the sand calling to me. Your rhythm's a treasure that sets me free. I still keep getting some of these areas that could possibly come out. I can't imagine the situation, but there are some areas lower to be concerned about. Right now, she's not thinking about them. Right now, she's thinking about trying to reclaim some of these other areas. So the biggest one that I'd like to see it get past right now is about 57. Let's apply these a little different here and see what we can get. that I like. I like the 134. I'm going to put this one on there. Right now it's a little bit of a hopium target. I mean, we're sitting at 47 cents, and that would be a big ass come up, but that's possible. That's a support resistance flip area. That's a great target that we will have to contend with, especially if we get, we start recovering these other places. All right, so we got that. What else have we got? This is where we were in March. We can use that to guide us. Swing high to swing low. We can see how we're doing. And that's the right way to go with this, I believe. So on this one, we're above that area, and we got rejected at 48. Yeah, I see that 57, maybe 60 cent area. 68. These are just some smaller take profit areas to look for, especially it sounds like you're doing some perpetual futures, so you're probably not trying to ride it all the way to 134 just yet. So for swing trade ideas, I'd be looking at these. All right, let's come down to the 4 hour and see how we're doing here. We got these guys coming in 4 hour. I can definitely see us I can see us doubling here shortly. I guess the best way to look at this would be from these bodies to where we got the most touches here. There's a little bit of a fake out and then a retest. That looks very valid. We can still incorporate all the new information too, and that did a retest of this trend line, and that's valid too. You got 2 touches on one side, and you can get your 3 on the other. Put a retest there. That looks good. That looks valid. Take a measured move from there, put it at the breakout. Also gets us up to around these areas, about 65 cents. So it looks like she's trying to come up to about 57, 60 cents, and that's not bad. She's at an area of resistance now, so she might pull back a wee bit to about what, 40, 43, 42 something. I can see 60. I can see 57 and 60 definitely as a first target. 69 and 73, and that can give 54% gains on just spot. So if you're using 2 or 3x leverage on that, that could get you, a nice 150% gains possibly, given it a little time to get up there. So in my personal opinion, she's got a little breakout. Let's see what it looks like here. Indicators look like they still got some strength there. She's just fighting with the 360 on the 4 hour time frame. And what do we say here? Of course, my preferred way to look at it is draw a little trend line. I'll probably paint it red. And if we break that trend line, things will change. If we come back to that trend line, that is a good place to get in. Even on a secondary trend line, this guy, we'll color him orange, orange. Coming back to this trend line could possibly be a good entry too. And so that's how I prefer to look at these guys. There's trying to be a little ribbon flip here. We haven't done it yet, but we're trying to flip the ribbons bullish. And it looks like it's trying to happen here. So we can come back to the areas. Where did you get in at? You got in at 43.5. We might come back down through there, and that might be a good place to add to your bags. But you can also take a little profit where we are. Now, for a short-term profit taking area, 49.51. And that if we can get up there, you can take a little bit of profit at those guys. When it comes back to the area that you entered in, you can build your bags a little bit more, or maybe just enter a brand new trade. However you do it, everybody looks at it different ways, and there's different ways to play it. Nobody's 100% right or wrong. You can only look back in retrospect and say, well, if I did this a little different, it could have turned out a little bit better. Let's make notes of that and let's try to play that next time. My personal opinion is that if you set some limit orders here to take profit at 50 and 51.5 cents, and she come back down, where your stop loss is in profit, or however you're playing that, or maybe just getting a brand new entry, I would be inclined just to take a little profit and add to my bags, is what I would be inclined to do. That doesn't mean that, that's the only thing to do or what everybody else should do. That's just one way that I can see playing this one. Why can I not draw? Because she's already, you don't want to be buying in here, right? Or adding to your bags here. That'll screw up your entry. But if you take profits up here, from where we are now, that's another 8%. And then from there, she falls back down to, loses about 15% back to areas that you probably got in at or something. And maybe, it'll probably come right back down to about the area you got in. And then you wash, rinse, repeat, and then try to go for the 57, 60 targets. Just my take on it, since we do have a nice breakout area and retest area. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. I don't think I gave you the hand clappies. I don't have the button over here. Thank you. I guess let's see what else Kelly said. Kelly says, my friend got me in on this. He wants to hold whiff to like 60 cents, but I don't know. I see that. Yeah, 60 cents. He's probably looking at that Fibonacci area right there. And that's a valid play. I just think she's going to have some ups and downs to get there, is what I'm seeing. That's what I was trying to reiterate there. Something like that. I'm in on, I've had some of this. I do spot margin for a lot of these guys, and there's small positions now. Trying to turn them into, if they want to go into something bigger, I'm trying to grow them into it. If not, then we'll just play for what we can get out of them. But that looks pretty decent to me. I like that. He also said he's going to hold his long to the top of the bull. We all, that would be the ideal thing, but I think we can see over the experience of the last 3 years that that's kind of a sucky thing to do, because it doesn't work out well for people. I'm of the opinion that more strongly now than ever, that if you're not taking profits on the way up to that, man, you're just at the mercy of the market. But you can do so much better. I think that thought's in the back of our minds for a lot of us, to get something on the lows when she's low and to hold it and sell it at the top. But that's they say it's extremely hard to do, and it's extremely hard to miss is the reason, because when we get up there, it always looks like it's going to go higher, or in most cases it looks like it's going to go higher. But a strategy such as some kind of Fibonacci strategy that gives you little areas to, especially the bigger areas. You got the ones to look at on your Fibonacci to rotate profits: 0.618, 786, 886, your 272s, 1, 3, the higher areas over through here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas to take profits there. On something, and let's just say let's just use this price that we got, for example, over here, and let's say we nailed the bottom, 114. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't look as impressive because it's not going back up to the $4 or $5 where it could be at the end of the bull run or something crazy like that. My thing is, you just do better if you take profits on the way, and that way when they do come back for a higher low, well, you can work it a little bit better, in my personal opinion. Just my thoughts. It's hard to unless you got your targets identified where you need to take profits, and you should do that. It's going to be easy to round trip these guys, and that's what most people do. They round trip them. It's even when you're trying not to round. I've round tripped so many coins this cycle that it's embarrassing. And I even took profits along the way, but still ended up round tripping a lot of it. It ended up hurting me because we'll hold up to that big price. It can work against you. So taking profits along the way is it's just better. altcoins against Bitcoin, and it's just oscillated. And in most cases, it just keeps coming down and down and losing value against Bitcoin. And so if you're not making a plan to get paid, you're just riding the roller coaster down. Just letting Bitcoin outperform your altcoins, and you should be in Bitcoin. Just some of my takes on it. But 60 cents looks like a good target. ABT. Let's take a look at ABT, Art Block. Got 10 people hanging out with me. Thank you for being here. Just an afternoon stream, just trying to look at some altcoins. They're popping off. I don't know that. I guess we'll go with this one. Nice. Nice. We looked at this. We looked at this last night. Where did we look at this last night? She's not on that many exchanges, is she? Let's go with Coin. Did we look at Coinbase? No, yeah, okay. So this was the targets. These should be measured moves here, right? 99 cents, which we hit. Nailed it! Yay! She actually went a little higher. Also, 117 is another target there. Let's zoom out and see if we can go over our stuff here. I got lazy. Oh, okay, I remember. I didn't change the colors because I was saying that this is probably hoping that it'll be a while before we get there. But the ones that I was looking for, very viable short term, the measure moves we got, and then these guys right here. So I still got these guys on the table. Well, I'll verify them here in just a second. Do I need to adjust you? Oh, it was from you. Okay, I see what I did. We went from, we could have went from here down, and that's still valid, but I chose to go from this last swing up to where we came down. So this is actually the impulse move from here to there. That's where I'm getting my targets here at this 786 and 886 areas. Let's go ahead, and this was the 0.5 that's coming up. We will probably, I'm looking for that 116, 117 area. And it's as simple as doing a little Fibonacci pull. In my personal opinion, it really is. The Fibonacci is excellent at getting you some take profit targets to help you navigate this market so you don't hold bags and suffer all the downside. It is still telling me that 158 and 177 look extremely juicy. I even think that we can test 136, but the next target I'm looking for, after we chill out a little bit, would be that 116, 117 area. Taking this wick to that wick kind of tells us also that it gives us a little bit more of a range that we could be playing in. And if we take these ideas, we can now see that we got kind of a channel idea going on here, right? I like channels. So that just kind of opens up the space that, yeah, man, these areas over here, ABT. I like those for take profit areas. This is on the 12 hour. Let's come down to the 2 hour, something a little bit more current. And this looks cool. You see how all the moving averages, they've gotten together. They're still bearishly flipped, but now they're so close together that we could start working on a positive flip. It's doing the first signs it needs to do right here. This is looking good for ABT. Now, she does need to come up and get these targets. She really needs to hit this one over here. Let's kind of clear a higher high. So I'm going to put a little bit more emphasis on this target at 136. So right now it looks like we got a nice pump. She'll probably come back, retest, maybe 75 cents. It sucks to see it happen, right? But that's a good thing. A retest is healthy, and then we can maybe see us push on up to 134. That looks pretty cool. So I would look for a retest of 75 cents. And maybe as low as this area down here where we broke out about 68. Not saying that she wants to do it exactly right now, just now. She can though. It looks like we got a possible, is it a double top? Yeah, bearish divergence here. Well, I'm on the 15-minute right now, so she should be getting a little tired. And it looks like she might be wanting to come down a little bit now. Overall, pretty good though. Zooming out on the bigger time frames. Yeah, I can see we can come back and definitely start working our way up. That's a pretty good sign of ABT. Sleep Coil says it's up 40% today. You just reviewed it yesterday at 59 cents. Yeah, she was. Where was she yesterday? And if I'm not mistaken, that's one that I was also saying that, you know, you heard a lot of people saying that I wouldn't touch these things right now, but if you got a conviction on it. I'm a bottom feeder, so you're not going to hear me bitch about that too much. And if she's showing me she's at bottom areas, then I'm thinking they're the play there. And this is why, because a lot of times when things are beaten down to those areas of reversal pivot points, they can, especially these small market cap ones, they can get a nice pump. And that's where you can get really good entries and get nice gains. It takes risk though, and you got to have the conviction for it. But yeah, I'm not one of those really badmouth coins and when they're down on their luck. Sometimes that's the best times to be looking at them. And you know, a lot of times you'll get something out of it. Sometimes it may take them a while. Like OM, she's down on her luck too. She's still down on her luck. Oh man, this one looks so pitiful. But she may have she's making some higher lows now in this little wishy-washy zone here. You still have to give them small time frames to play OM. Mantra Dow. And this is oh wow, you went down to the juicies, 51 and all that. How far did you get down? 40. That's been a minute though. That was just yesterday. She got down to 51. I'm playing this little guy in a range, but she's starting to look like she's wanting to come up a little bit. So I've got me some little targets going to the upside playing this one. I'm trying to be careful because this one could, if they're doing that buyback thing and the market, you know, the market goes bullish for a week or so, for whatever reason, pumped up, authentic or not in crypto, this one might get a little pump up too. So I'm trying to go easy on my targets. Just basically playing a range on this one. But, you know, she's at an area where a lot of people would be scared to go in on this one too, so it is about taking that risk. And when you take risk, you know, that's what it takes to make gains. You like I said, what we were saying last night, you've got to make the move to get in. If you don't do that, if you're always watching and waiting, then you're missing. So I'm not saying just jump out there, but yeah, do it within reason. And you got to have that conviction. If you don't have conviction on your trade, there's been a lot of coins I did not have conviction on, and you know, it leads you to if you don't have the conviction, you're going to capitulate or sell or just I'm done with this one. You can make some bad moves there, or moves that you're like, oh man, I should have held on to you. I just didn't have the conviction to do it. That's usually what that story sounds like. So it's good to try to focus on coins that you have conviction on, rather than, oh, let's say a setup might work. You know, if you're going to be in a coin and take a chance on a coin, at least trade a coin that you like and kind of have some conviction in and believe in. Let's take a look at IMX. Immutable X having a good day today. We're on small ass time frames there. Oh my gosh, look at this messy chart we got. We got to zoom in because we're looking at some small time frames here. So we had a trade set up on this little guy. We'll be playing this one from over here. She came back, did not go to the stop loss. She's still doing good. Went above the 55 cent target. We're at 55 cent now. She actually got up to 61. She went all the way to the 618. So nice. Oh, we don't have clappy hands. We gotta do clapping hands. I also need to move this one up in front of there. Now we can see. I didn't notice that before. Let's clear this out, and so we can get a better look at what's going on. Since our trade setup and all that is finally, I guess we should. That was 22% gains. No, I don't really care about bragging about this. Let's just let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture of things, because I think it looks interesting. Like many of the other coins that we're seeing here, we got a bullish megaphone pattern, and that could lead to some nice upside. One of the biggest areas to look at is going to be about $1.04. That's about 2x from where we are now. Let's just go ahead and pull our Fibonacci's and get our areas lined up here. 80 cents, $1.07. So IMX, there could be a play coming for a breakout. That could be an entry or a little retest of the areas around 50 cents. She's showing signs that she wants to do something. A pump up. I wouldn't expect it to get too much past $1.07 if we get up there. But it looks like we might be trying to do that over the next few days. It's kind of crazy that crypto's starting to get bullish when the legacy market is getting kind of scared. So I don't really trust the altcoin. Now I trust Bitcoin and pretty much trust gold, but now the altcoins, they could be just playing you, trying to get some exit liquidity out of you. So you need to be on that same mindset. Let's look for some exit liquidity out of the market, because the bigger moving averages are saying we're still bearish, baby. We got a lot of work to do to finally start blasting back up to these $2 areas. We're probably going to stay range through here, so let's take some profits and then let's get, build a better bag or position, and then get ready for the bigger targets when they come. But I like that for IMX. I'm going to post this one over there for take profit targets. What is this, the 6 hour, 4 hour, 6 hour? All right, let's come over here and see what we're talking about. Okay, fans. Oh, it might pull back to my entry. I better take profits. It wouldn't hurt to take a little bit. It does look like it might pull back to your entry, but you still look pretty good. It did look like it may go up before it comes down. So, oh, good. Well, hopefully it will go along the lines of what I saw. Against now, I've already starting to forget what I saw over there. But I just call out what I see on the charts and the probabilities, and a lot of times it does. The moving averages help you out a lot to figure out the momentum of the moves and everything. Coinbase charts, but look at the Gate IO as history going back all the way to 2018, and that was for what? Arc Block, ABT. Have you guys heard about Mica and some things that are going over in the European, about crypto and stuff like that, where they're really making it, they're trying to really track the hell out of crypto. This is leading me to believe that the DeFi exchanges, decentralized exchanges, Uniswap, Osmosis, those are two at the top, Jupiter, Radium, and all those little guys. If they do that, you're going to see a lot more activity go DeFi. They're going to start making it hard for centralized exchanges over in Europe, so it looks like. Therefore, DeFi projects and those tokens may be something worthwhile looking for. They'll have an obvious use case and obvious purpose over these next 10, 12 months that we might be in here. Just throwing that idea out there. Gate, we're looking at Gate.io. I still got that target over there at 192. And where we are getting resistance, that is support resistance flip area. I'm trying to recall the idea that I had. I mean, I can see what's going on, but it's basically going to be about the same things that we got. Pulling a fib from there to there. We got, yeah, we're coming up on the 382. I can probably finesse it here. And the 192 is coming up at an 886. That's a juicy place to get back to. On this particular chart, I really like these 175 and 192 for the big, more hopium targets. 101, I'm still looking at that 104. For the 382, there is that little spike down here. It could be a support resistance flip with support there. Maybe she falls a little short of 104 or 106 or 104. Maybe she goes to that white line, but that little area is a good little target. Personally, I think 145, 175, 192 are the best higher targets to try to look for. And she may pull back from here 70 something cents. I think we talked about that on the other charts too. Because she is that area of resistance, and she may definitely pull back to these areas to try to buy somewhere back through here. That could happen, my friend, but that's just healthy moves. So taking profit soon, a little bit, you know, just so she does come back here and you get stopped out or something, at least you're stopped out in profit or whatever your technique is there. That's a nice move today. That's a nice move out of Art Block. It's a nice move out of a lot of these little guys. Kelly Fan says Bitcoin's taking a little of a dip. What, 91,000? Wow. She's trying to. Oh well, I've got her. I'm in 6 minute. I'm still looking for 92.3 to get hit here. And if she does take a dip back, maybe 90,800 through there. I'm actually seeing this guy. There's always a chance for these bigger Fibonacci's that maybe they don't, you know, maybe they get front run a little bit, but that one I'm still kind of looking for you. I might even throw an extra one in over here just to watch at 93, 197. But I'm really looking at that 92.3. So far, we're making this rising channel, which is bearish. And it's happening on the smaller time frame. Now, sometimes what you see, or what I've seen, is that when that kind of starts formulating at a oh man, wrong thing, at a resistance area. Let's get our little, where's our marker? They could be doing something like that, come down, and then, you know, we start doing a little range, and maybe she goes up higher, and we start doing this little range thing. We're likely to do something like that at these areas that we're at on Bitcoin right now. And I do think that Bitcoin will come back and retrace. My whole thesis is counting on it, so I can get a very juicy entry in here. And then when we do zoom out to the bigger time frames and don't get caught up in the moment, if I can I get the Fibonacci off? What am I doing here? I'm just putting dots all over my screen. Again, the moving averages are not ready to play ball with us. We've still got a bearish flip on them all. So the coming up right now, we're trying to change our trend. We're looking like I keep saying, we're getting our higher high in, which we did. We finally got above the 88, 89,000. That's what we were looking at so much over here. At this area, we finally did it. And once we do that, we'll be looking for our higher low, which could take us back to 80, 86, 85,000 or anywhere through there. And we can get a better idea when that happens. Right now, we're not ready for it. But that's cool. That's cool. I'm liking that. It's starting to do what we were hoping it would do, what we were looking for it to do, and what I've been talking for and sharing my strategy, what I wanted to do. Get that higher high, get that higher low, go in a hell of a lot heavier on that higher low. My goal is to take profits through here as we make our higher high, and then really bang in on that next higher low, because that's going to be one of the better places to focus on getting in to get the most gains when we go for our next higher high. And I say that every day, every time that I'm streaming. That's what I'm planning on doing. That's what I'm doing, and it's nice to see the price is finally starting to cooperate with those ideas, right? And it's no magical concept. It's looking at a breakout, looking to start. We've been on a downtrend. Now we're showing the first signs after all this time that now we're starting to look on changing our trend. And this is just the beginning. This is just our first step. We're going to take 2 steps forward, 1 step back from now on, or for a little while. I want to get that 1 step back. I want to be taking profits on the 2 steps forwards and then buying on the 1 step back. Or is it 1 step forward, 2 steps back? Anyway, as long as we're progressively going up, that's what we want to do, in my personal opinion. Bitcoin got a little rejection from Anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAP is an interesting play there. I have not really done the Anchored VWAP thing, but I see some value in that idea. Let me see if I where were you, Anchored VWAP? It is not one of my thingy things. Where are you hiding out at, though? You're here. I think you're over here, right? No. It shows you that I don't ever use this, but there's something to be said about Anchored VWAP. Anchored volume. Oh, you can do an anchored volume profile? Anchored VWAP right here. So the idea is take anchored volume VWAP and anchor it. Oh my gosh. That's too much crap. Multiplier bands, multipliers. That's a neat strategy to go with. I'll probably be looking at some more of the Anchored VWAP stuff in the future. It would not help us out at all for me to start going into it, because, like I said, it's not one of my normal things. But I do like it. I do like it. From what I understand about it, I do like the Anchored VWAP. But yeah, a little pullback, and then also here we got Lucy up there, the little devil girl up there at 666 moving average. We can, and I think we will. We might even go a little higher. We might go 94. We might take out this guy. It would be awesome if we go to 100,000 and take out this guy. That would be bullish AF. That would also give us a nice little pullback somewhere. Probably scare the market. Oh no, I knew it wasn't real. The bigger moving averages are saying we going up, but we coming back down. We're not. The 200 moving average is still $83,000 on the 4 hour. That's not just going to miraculously shoot up to 100,000 overnight. We're going to have some. We go ups, we come down, and I'm already making plans for the coming down in this as we go up. And it's a mindset loop. Kelly says I really like Anchored VWAPs. Tal sure had a nice short. Oh, did it? Did she drop?
And it's a hot one, like pesos climbing on a quick burn sun. I feel your flicker.
There's some bearish divergence going on there on the smaller time frames. It might happen. And she's at, you know, she's at the places where she should get a pullback. These things are looking nice though.
And it's just like the coin under the flame.
We've not retested this area at 265, 270. We may come back and do that eventually, or 312. Until we get our little high end, and it could go up as high as 381. It could go higher, to be honest with you, but that's the next area I'd be looking for if she does make a higher high. We could continue on up there. She's at an interesting area. She's at the 0.5 now. That's an area she could come down to. When it comes to looking at where she's going to come down to, I would keep a trend line. It's easy for some people to try to map out what they think the price is going to do and ups and downs and stuff like that. But if they're not using a trend line, they might be missing some of the story there. I think it's important to follow those trend lines. Even some of the secondary trend lines. So coming back to test just a little over $300, probably, maybe 268. At some point, she will top out and then she will come down. She might even go up as high as 431. I'm not really seeing it, but I'm not saying can't happen. So a lot of money coming into crypto. We probably need to look at Total 3, see what the hell's going on over here, because she's getting a nice bump up for whatever reason. If the stock market is being scared to death, it doesn't make very much sense for crypto just to really take off and be the new hot thing. It doesn't, and it's probably probably more of an enticement move to get you to think that than to actually do that, right? That's why taking profits on these guys are kind of important. I'm very impressed with how we do, but we do have a breakout. That means we can also have a retest, especially the areas we just lost. Short term, it's looking over the next few days. It looks like we're going to get some altcoin pumps here. Maybe pretty decent out of some of them, from what I'm seeing on Total 3. And that's just the times to get paid. My personal opinion. 7 people hanging out. Rodog, can the Wyckoff accumulation be on play on Bitcoin as an accumulation? The Wyckoff accumulation would have been already through here, and this would have been the spring if you're going by that idea. And maybe we're still in that accumulation. That's what's so kind of wild about it. So Wyckoff is basically, you got a little range, a little box. We're still in that. It could be, this was more like distribution. Up here, and then some people could make the argument this whole thing is just a reaccumulation, and this was the spring. You could, that's a deep ass spring. This could be the jumping the creek part that we're doing here, but Wyckoff or not, we're still looking for a higher high and then our higher low. This was definitely an accumulation right through here. That was painful as hell, just like this one has been, right? And then we had our little spring, came up, we came up, and then we came back down, scared everybody. And I remember being nervous as F back then on this one, because we made a lower high, and then we finally caught traction here, and then started feeling better, getting above the 9 and stuff. But this was scary for a lot of people too. A lot of PTSD from everything that happened here. I remember it, and I did not enjoy this stuff at all. I got my ass handed to me on several positions here, but we came back. But this was in essence a reaccumulation event here too. But this one does look nice for Wyckoff. If this is a spring and jump in the creek, and then we'll come up with last. Oh man, there's so many things. Wyckoff is not such much a pattern as it is a sequence of events that things play out, and I think it's. I'll go with that. Kelly says, I just started learning the Wyckoff method. I love it. So much to learn, though. If you break it down to all the little pieces and everything, yeah, but if you want to simplify it, it's really a channel. Honest to gosh, it is really it's as simple as making a channel. You can take these ideas, and I mean, I would read through it and understand the concepts, last point of support, automatic rally, and all that stuff, and understand it. Just means, hey man, but basically, in essence, the easiest way is just a horizontal channel, and then there's a fake out, and then things start getting better, and then you leave the channel, and it's on. Or if it's a distribution, it's doing exactly the opposite. Distributions are usually making higher highs a lot of times to kind of fool people out. Remember, with Wyckoff, we talked about this idea where they come up and that's not it. For a distribution, actually, the best thing to do would be look back over here, because this was distribution. And at the time, I did not understand this, and this was when I first learned of Wyckoff. It's Crypto Savvy talking about Wyckoff. I've never back here at this time, and that's my first exposure to Wyckoff theory, and the whole market's, I think, exposure to Wyckoff theory back there. And Crypto Savvy did a lot with that. But with the distribution, you see, we're making higher highs, and that's why I tell you, the buy the breakout strategy. Or the buy the level thing, it kind of sucks, because you can get tripped up on that idea, right? I'm gonna buy here. It made a higher high. I mean, I remember this in the trading groups I was in. It says, we break that level, jump in. And I can't tell you how many times I did that. That's why am I a bottom feeder now, is because of this. Because you make that higher high, and then what? You get that higher low. So if you jumped in there, yeah, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to put $10,000, and then my $10,000 is it's really more like $8,500 now. It sucks. And so the only thing that you can do in that situation is try to catch it here and add in, and then you kind of balance out maybe somewhere. Your average price is just a little bit lower. Maybe you can get something. Maybe you can get, if it goes up for a higher high. But every higher high, there's a higher or lower low. For every high you get, there's going to be a corresponding low, and waiting for those lows are better. And if you see where you lose a level, like a trend line level, if you're following this, that's valid. Losing this level right here, that can great places for stop losses, in my opinion. But then we can judge, and then you see that, well, we didn't make a higher low, we made a lower low. Oh crap, trend is changing. And then we come up and make our higher low, and that market's over. That was it. That higher low was the end of the bull market, or at least at this section. We kind of did the same thing over here too. And the trend lines can help you however you want to use them. Steep trend lines, especially on the bigger time frames. The trend lines can help you if you can apply these ideas, and more importantly, stick to these ideas. You would know that at the very last, that 52,000, breaking 52,000, that's no bueno. Something bad is happening here. There's bearish divergence, some other things that we could look at here, but this trend line, as janky as it is, just taking it up to just there, would have saved you. I mean, or would have helped you get out at 63. It was not the perfect trend line at all, but just using that would and apply those ideas would help you right here. This one was getting out at 62. That one was definitely, but she decided to go up and make that a little higher high, right? And everybody fell for it and said, well, Bitcoin's going to 100,000. Bitcoin will never fall below 47,000, said the man in jail who's still in, I guess Bitcoin is still in jail right now. I haven't heard anything from him. Just some ideas to kind of put on the back burner that can help us navigate the market, in my personal opinion. All right, 8 people hanging out, and it is about 5:27. It's time for me to go check in on my family and everything. I've been streaming for about, oh my God, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Did not expect that. Sitting here watching Bitcoin. We went over a lot of altcoins, had a lot of targets for altcoins. Let me come back to the chat real quick and see what we got. Hoolan says Wyckoff is awesome, still very new. And guys, I don't know if you know this, but you know, a lot of you guys are over in the trading area. If you go over to the student chart area, let me blow this up real quick. And I think if you come over here, yeah, you go over where it says, you click the top where it says student charts, and you come over where it says files. Look, I got schematics, Wyckoff cheat sheets. There's even PDFs over here, books on how to trade Wyckoff. There's an encyclopedia chart patterns over there that cost about $100 if you buy it. Trading Bible. I've got Steve Nyson, Japanese candlestick. I've got all the training information you need to get a good foundation on TA. So if you're looking for Wyckoff, there is. Are you not over here? Okay. There is a Wyckoff, but I've got these things scattered everywhere. Let me see if I can. Give me a minute. I'll make sure I'll put a copy over there right now. Let me find it. It's probably over here in the ode section here. This is where all these things were originally loaded up here, I believe. Steve Nyson, 20 strategies, blah blah blah. Harmonic Trading Volume 3. I didn't know that was over there. Harmonic Trading Volume 2. All that stuff needs to go over there too, doesn't it? I'm looking for me Fibonacci and Gann applications. Oh, I haven't even read that one. Fibonacci trendline. There's some books over here I need to go check out. Richard Wyckoff, stock market technique. Okay, now we're getting there. Wyckoff method and cheat sheet. Let's see if we can forward that to student charts. All right, we got that one over there. You were down at the bottom there. I need to come back and Wyckoff reaccumulate. I think those are. Let's get the. There's cheat sheets, accumulation. Let's go with this. This one. And if you guys like this, then tell me, and I'll try to put the rest of the stuff over there. So we got some more materials over there. Go over Wyckoff and stocks and trading, and then there's some schematics too. But I think the schematics may already be over here. Hoolan says, yeah, I've been mad studying, getting ready for this next leg. There's some awesome files in Telegram. There are, and I just stumbled on some that I need to kind of redistribute over there to the Telegram group. That's something I need to check out. Fibonacci, that looked awesome. Always trying to learn more of Fibonacci secrets there. Guys, thanks for hanging out. 11 people. I'll be hopefully on tonight. I may go a little earlier. I need to switch up my things. My sleep schedule and circadian rhythm is very much off. I may have to start trying to go in at 10:30 or 10 p.m. at night if I can do it. Switch things up a little bit so I can get in bed a little bit earlier. But thanks for hanging out, guys. We went over a lot of altcoins. If you guys want to rewind and stuff, I can't even remember what all we went over. A lot of them, Caspa. There's some that I even skipped. OM, CRV, IMX, Stacks, Aave, AVAX, Solana, Fartcoin, Tau. Some I didn't get to, but and then some that you guys requested and everything else that we looked at. So a lot of good information on the stream. The idea is to get paid as prices go up and get ready for the higher low, hopefully higher low that will be coming for these things when it happens. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go to the end screen. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you tonight.
so unsure as I log in tonight.
Well, Bitcoin just caused a pump.
The charts start to sway.
And she's still, and it still looks bullish to me. We at least get up here to 92.3, maybe 93.1, and then we see what it does over there.
I chase the high.
But Bitcoin is doing what we hope, putting in a higher high, and then we focus on the next higher low. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it every time. This is interesting. The VIX, though, is getting a little. She's not below 30, so the regular stock market's still kind of scared. VIX looks like she wants to go up. Okay, there's going to be a pullback in the stock market. It looks like that will probably happen tomorrow because the stock market is over today. Here we are, SPX being undecided at the moment, and a little scary zone for them. They're nervous right now. I need to check the news and see what's going on. Altcoins, however, are looking, man, that's bullish. Closing that candle here, even on the 4 hour above this area, that's good. Right there, but by my disco ball. So altcoins are going to give us a little run here, but this is not the time to say, I'm going to jump in and diamond hand it from here. You can find some entries and make sure you got some exits or take profits. Don't get played by them this time. Let's play them. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. See you tomorrow night. Or see you tonight.
The cost of coins devouring me. I sold your faith for fleeting gain. Now echoes hum a sad refrain. Tonight the coins fall so cold. A whispered crash I can't console. I'm never gonna trade it.